Hey folks, I was just waiting for a few to come in. If you wouldn't mind just saying, shout out and saying hi. This market's just kind of running rampant here. And we went up to a couple things I want to show you. So like I said, I'm just going to bring it up. Sitting here trading, been pretty tough because liquidity is kind of weird on days like this. And this market's just screaming. We're seeing over here, let me go full screen, you can see some of this stuff. Um, what we're seeing here is this thing just rebounding pretty sharply, and it's a typical thing we've seen for a while now. As we get these stampedes, collapses, then we get the stampede in. If you flash back to earlier this year in March, you'll see the same kind of pattern. We saw these things where markets were down, 500, 600. Dow Jones up 470 right now, was up more, and this thing just surges one way, and then the next day it's different. I thought the volatility was going to start to collapse a little bit, normalize down here. That's not happening. We're looking at a range today, but all the way up to 2804, which exceeds what the range was. Let me show you that right here, and let's bring that on screen, and you'll see these ranges here. The high end of the range was 2803.43, which was, I believe, 53 handles was the extreme range projection today. So we've seen that, and what we're looking at here now is this thing going all the way to the extreme. The high was 0432, so about $1 above the extreme. And I suspect we'll try to bring this in. But when you get into days like this, it's just like all the machines take over. You get all the algo traders and all this stuff. And we have much different characteristics, I would say, today than we've had in the past. And especially at these levels, and with all the algos running it, there's probably 60-70% of all the trade going on right now are algo traders. We'll see. That's what's driving this market today. It's not you and I clicking on the mouse, and we're not. And the lack of liquidity is huge. Let me show you something here. Let's go over to the liquidity meter, and we'll take a look at this. But this is pretty phenomenal here, in that, see, my screen is not updating. Let me find out why. You'll see it now. So I'm not sure what you were seeing, but we'll go back through this. But let's just talk about the liquidity meter. As you can see, once again, 50s, there's 300 on the offer right now. There's just not a lot of liquidity. You'll see these bars jumping all around just crazily. This is about 400 back here, which is not bad. That's better liquidity we've seen for the last couple hours. But when you start to look at how this thing's trading, you just get into these air pockets. So we're attempting to get back up to the high of the session again here. And I think there's probably going to be a trade. I'm watching the WaveTech webs here, and there's probably going to be a potential short. If we haven't put in the highs already, I'd be surprised. And I'd also be surprised at some stage where we're going to start. I'm going to put I just put 5 contracts out there. I'm going to give this a little shot. Managed to accumulate a little money, but it's been tough today from that standpoint. Just trying to get in there and trade. I'm going to put another 5 on the offer here. They're disappearing pretty quick. They filled me, so I got 10 short. These are the E-minis, and this thing is very vulnerable just to take off here. Look at this, right at the new highs, just like that. Wow. So this is, these are the kind of air pockets we've been seeing, and I'm telling you, this is all algo driven. There's not a lot of folks in here doing this. So I just put 10 more out. They filled them really quickly. So I'm just going to try to scratch this trade if I can. And it's probably still going to be a good trade. We'll see here. I just scratched them. I'm back profitable. But this is the kind of stuff that you see, and it takes a lot of. There, we got everything out, and let me just finish that off. Okay, so I managed to make actually about $1,000 there. But you saw that air pocket, how it just jumped through here. It's absolutely bizarre on how this trades are going. And whether that was probably the final hurrah, I still think now we got a nice reversal playoff. So I just put 5 out there again. I'm going to try to, it's like they're still jumping around. Here we are. I'm back down 575. Got 10 contracts out there. And, like I said, this thing is just bouncing around. But this is a very, we've seen lots of these days over I would say the last 3 or 4 years, where you just get these big driving trades. I'm trying to scalp out of this thing right now. I got 5 left. I am going to. I'm going to stay with this for a second. I'm just going to try to scratch a trade, which means I'm not going to make any money. I'm buying and selling it at the 0 number here. We'll see if they'll let me out. They're not right now. Like I said, this is it's kind of a tenuous time to be trading. But really what I wanted to talk to you about is just how to actually see, this is the best place to see the algos in here and all the trading. So I cleared out that trade. I got a bid laying out there. Let me scratch that bid. There it goes. It's out. So what we're really up against the machines today, and it's like I said, liquidity. It's actually a lot better right now. We got 150, 300 aside. They're kind of jumping around. It's about a 50-cent bid, not really a quarter bid like we get on a lot of normal days. But you'll see. I think this thing's going to turn here. So it wasn't the real reason I went up on screen, but I just kind of wanted to hang out. We've only got a couple people, so hey, give me a shout out, and if maybe you have a question about what I think about something or whatever, give me a shout, and we'll take a look at. I'm putting 5 out there. Got 10 short. Every time I'm doing this, been bumping. I think this is probably the turn. You'll see over here on the webs, they're starting to crisscross here. That's typically, I've got a bunch of formations. If you were on earlier, I said I would talk a little bit more about these webs, but they're really a pattern recognition tool, but they also represent oftentimes where the resistance is in the patterns. So this is pretty good. This is a 1-minute graph. So in a second here, we're going to get an update, and I think we'll be able to. I'm not doing a true scalper like I normally do. I'm putting another 10 contracts out. They filled. I still got 4 out there. I'm going to leave them lay there for a second. No, I'm going to take off the offers, and I'm just going to scalp out of this. Couple $100 if they'll give them back to me. Looks like they want to give me. I got 11, 6 left, and I'll scratch this. No, I won't. Yeah, I will. We'll go ahead and scratch out of this thing. There we. So they jumped on me. We'll leave that bid lay there. There's 6 contracts out there to buy. Looks like we should get filled there. They should get them. Lots of onesies trading here. You'll see in the middle is the time and sales. Still got the 6 out there. They don't want to let me out. This pattern is actually turning a little bullish, and I am going to play this a little bit. So I'm flipping this trade just for fun. I guess we'll hang out and trade for a few minutes, trying to make some money. Um, Trying to scalp out here. We got just about 20. Typically, I'll do 25, 20, 25 on a trade. I try not to get bigger than that. Sometimes I will to offset a trade if it gets away. And I like the pattern. So this thing is, maybe they'll let me out here. Here we go. We got one. It's pretty illiquid. See, I'm putting this thing out there. I got 9 left. I actually am going to try to flip this thing short because I think I'm finally going to get my short trade, and that would really upset me if I miss that. Canceling the offers, putting a couple of bids down here. There we go. Filling those, scalping out of that. Got 11, scalp another. Got 6, scalp one more time, and got 1 contract left. So I click over here on this far side, and this will get rid of it. It's all gone. So the last sequence of trades actually cost a little bit of money. Probably ticket cost trading that many. So anyway, I still think there's a short trade somewhere here. Not to be a contrarian, but to finish up above 2,800, to be above '04, we've extended the extreme. Like I said in my commentary, I actually was talking about I thought that we would start the volatility to contract a little bit. As far as I look at volatility different than what the VIX is looking at. So here we go again. See, they're teasing me with this trade. Let me get 12 on there. I'm putting another 5 out there, 15. Still got offers out there. I'm scalping on a couple of these. I've got 7 left, so I'm just scalping on the bid. So I'm doing true scalping. They're letting me get these off here. And there we go. Got 1 contract left. Click there. It's gone. Cancel my offer. Clean. I made $400 or $500 just there. But the illiquidity is a big deal. So I'm going to be really upset because I think there's a good surge on a trade coming here. So I've got 35. I got a little bigger than I wanted to. And of course, now they're going to try to run it back on the highs again. A lot of times when you're scalping around like this, you get into these trades. It reminds me of the floor trading days, and you're scalping around. You get a little bit ahead, and then they take it back, and it's a persistence of being willing to stay in the game, if you will. And they're going to possibly let me scalp out of this thing. I just put 20 right here at 650 on the bid. We only got 160 on the bid, so they can take out that bid. There we go. Looks like they're trying to take it. So 675 we need trading over here in the middle. There they go. They're taking. They got a couple of these. There we go. Got 15 left. I had 35. And they're actually going to let me make another $400 or so. Now, then, speaking before I get my fills. Got 1 left now. There it goes. All gone. Didn't get my bid out in time, but I can scratch that trade there. I got 4. They filled me on. There it goes. Gone. So we're flat. Maybe $200 there, and that's about it. I still like the short side. I want to get short here, and this pattern is starting to expand. I'll be really upset if I miss it. I'm going down and hitting the bid a little bit and just trying to get my typical 20 trade on. I'm actually putting a bid at 0575 on 10. I took those out. I'm going to do another one there, so I'll have 5 and just scalping out of here. It's another 300 or so in the till, and I'm clearing. I got 8 contracts left. I'm clearing those out, and they didn't give them to me. So that's frustrating because I should have been able to grab those out of there. Yeah, they're starting to whip me around a little bit here. That cost me about 400. I got a little cumulative profits for the day. Here we go. Hopefully let me scalp out of this thing just a little bit. So what we made in the last couple of trades are trying to take back. We'll see how it goes. We still got 12 left on this trade. 9-3. We're now 3 long. Just going to scalp it. Done. Like I said, I'm kind of frustrated because I've been impatient with this thing, getting the short side done. I got 27 on. I'm going to scalp out of 5. At 0550, we've been here before. I guess 5 in now at 575. Trying to cover this thing. Still got 31. Got a couple of them there. Yeah, look at that. They just don't want to let you out of this thing. Yeah, they're trying to take some money for. Yeah, see, we're back into these really small ticket sizes. I am going to be aggressive here, but I'm going to average my cost down and see if I can scalp out of this thing. All I need is 2 ticks and they'll let me out. It's pretty aggressive. I could end up ruining a decent day here. So I've got a bunch of orders layered, you'll see up here, and you just kind of have to be a little patient. This thing is a little scary. If we weren't up 54 handles on a day, it would even be scarier because they could run this thing on you. Like I said, I'm still kind of they're flipping this pattern a little bit, but I still think there's an opportunity here to short this market, maybe come in up 46 or something on a day, and we should be able to get on a little run on the short side. I'm actually going. There's something else when you're scalping and trading like this that need to understand is that you also need to get into the order book, and I'm just hoping this thing doesn't get. Looks like it wants to roll over here. We'll see. We're seeing momentum over here and volume ratio starting to peak up a little bit. So I just canceled all my bids that I had in there. So I'm just I am going to put in some stuff to try to clear this out. And what I was trying to say here is the order book, as you can see here, you'll see it's constantly changing in numbers, and you need to get in because it's, first in, first out kind of thing. So, you need to get in the order book and hang in that thing. So a lot of times when I'm trading, I'll actually layer orders ahead of myself. They're trying to bring this thing back in. Looks like they're filling some of them. I got 80, now 65, 61. They just took all those orders I layered in, and they're kind of letting me out of this thing with some money, which is pretty amazing. But like I said, I would be feel a little different if it wasn't up 54 handles in a day. That trade I just did would have been pretty risky here. And so the short trade's trying to come on. We're back down to that 575, 550 area. I'm actually adding to the trade a little bit and trying to scalp at the same time. So you'll see if you look at the chart on the right-hand side, you'll see I've layered 20 contracts in there. And, just kind of, this is a very tenuous area to be trading in, but I still like the short side. I think they're going to come to me on these 20 contracts here, and I got 40 out there. I'm putting another 5 there. I want to try to clear this trade. See, we were right there. We were one bit off of getting filled. Now they're back again. So we'll see what happens here. So I put a scratch trade in, which is this 0 number, and we're just hovering right above where I need to fill, and almost had them, and I don't think they're going to make a new high. They certainly could, but just trying to stay with this thing just a little bit. You can see it's starting to flake out here on the bid side. And if you watch the time and sales here in the middle, what we want to see here is lots of 725s trade, then 7 evens trade. Now we went 750s, 775, so we're 3 ticks off the high of the day. So pretty scary, as they say, especially with a bunch on. I just bought back some, so you can see it cost me about $1,000, and I still have 11 contracts in. And I just could not take the risk. I'm putting some of these back on, actually. I just couldn't take the risk of this thing blowing out of here. So you have to be willing to risk just a few hours to get there. And I've got a big trade out there. If it doesn't get filled here, I'm canceling. Okay. They keep putting me in this trade, but we'll see what happens here. 675, 650, those are the last 3 numbers, 2806. So, as I said, just really trying to get out. I got a bunch of trades layered here. I'm in the order book, which is a good thing, because you want to make sure that you have your orders in ahead of time. You try to come in, you're last man on the totem pole, you're not going to get in, or get out in this case. Sometimes I'll actually, if the markets are really liquid, I'll layer orders on both sides of a range, because I'll have these webs here, and I'll see that those opportunities for that range trading is there. And like I said, sometimes you can't get filled if you're not already in the order book. And you can see how fast these bid and offers are changing. So I think they're going to give me a shot to fill these orders. We'll see. Like I said, we're right back. 3 ticks, 2 ticks from the high. I got to buy back here. I can't afford to. That cost me a couple grand. Still can't afford to let it get away. So I got to spend some money here. Okay, so they're going to try to give me back just a little bit here. We'll see what happens. I'm layering in some orders. Matter of fact, I'm going to get rid of all my bids and then go back in there on this thing here. There we go. So I was about 13,400 up on the day, and Like I said, I still like the short side. They're showing me they can't make the new high. We'll try it again. And back up 50 long, 50 short here. And just trying to scale out of there. Down about 2,500 off of the highs for the day as far as captured closed trades. So here we go. They're going to fill me on some of these. See if we get another tick here. Yeah, and what we're seeing in these in the webs and the pattern here is indicating that there's. I'm going to take some more of these out. I don't like to be this large. There we go. Down to, I still would like to be about. This will take them all out. There you go. I got one left. So I was down $2,000. I'm back to 12,737. So I was able to capture some of that. And like I said, I still want to lean to the sell side. They're finally starting to break this down, and they're not filling me. But well, I did get 20 on, so that's okay. And we get down to that 550 is the magic number here, and I'm scalping out, guys. I'm literally taking out some of the positions here. It looks like I'm going to get filled on another 5 or so. There they go. They're going to give me some more. There's some more. Okay, we're almost back to where we were equity-wise, so that's a good thing. And I'm pushing out more shorts. Here we go. So they're definitely trying to give some money. They're showing the love here. I'm trying to clear these out. I'm going to cancel all my offers. I don't want to get that short. Got that out of there. Not a lot of risk in this trade now. We'll go all the way up to new highs, only $1,500. But we're actually new equity highs, 14,925 now. So that's a good thing. And when you're doing this, and I know I'm trading pretty large money, but you have to understand these techniques. You don't, like right now we're down 400. I'm just going to lay out about 10 contracts here. I want to get up to my typical 20. I'm at 21 contracts right now because we got some odd lots filled on some of those other trades. And I'm getting in the order book. Matter of fact, I'm going to cancel these bids real quick. I want to re-enter into the order book down at that magic 2850 number. And then I'm going to I got 10 there, and I'm putting another 10 right there at 0525. And I'll probably be offering if they hit here. Here we go. There's the 50s trade. We didn't get those filled. They fill them now, still haven't filled them. And this is one of the things I'm talking about is being in that order book in time. I got 3 is all I got, 4 actually. And so we're going to try them again here at the 575. They got them filled down to 11. There they go. We got all that. I got 1 left. I'm just scalping out of it. Boom, done. 15,562 now. So we're building on the day. And you could divide. I mean, you can trade like 5 contracts. I always suggest you do contracts. I have my offers and bids set so that they would do 5 contracts at a time. And, you can make some pretty serious money. And you got to pick your points. And, I didn't get a big rollover, but I managed to stay committed to the trade, if you will. I'll come back on screen. So I managed to stay committed to the trade in that I was leaning on the short side, mainly because of the way the consolidation was happening, the webs were setting up. And right now, they're really neutral. You can get in trouble trying to trade in here. So I backed off a little bit. But there were a couple of trades I was definitely in trouble on because if they're going to smash through those highs, like I said, my confidence on that trade came from the fact that we're up 54 handles on a day, and it's the advantage of having like the daily range numbers and all that kind of stuff. You can see these dots that are on the screen here. Let me go full screen so you can see that for a second while I'm talking about it. But if you look at these dots, this is the projected volatility. It's a 3-period volatility range, and it's got some Fibonacci ratios and things of that sort that are telling us where each one of these bars are likely to go. So you can see here, got linear regressions here, but if I go down on this table, you'll see the RXT and the SXT. Those are giving us ranges of where the futures are likely to go. So like right now we're 0575. We're right at support 1 on this thing. And actually, I am going to try to get back short again. I really do think they're going to pull this thing at least 6-8 handles off the high. There'll be a fair amount of money to be made there. I want to get 5 more on. There's 20. I like this pattern. It's going to. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to layer in the order book 5 contracts. So that represents my 20. So if they trade down here, they're going to, one more tick, they're going to start filling my order. I'm already in, I'll already have my orders ahead in the order book, which is really important. Here we go. We just got filled on some of those. We're down to 13 contracts, didn't fill them all. We'll see how this thing trades. But this thing should trade down into those orders, and I'm already in the book. And something you can do, and I'll show this to you, right here on the offer, if you want to you can click on this blue space here, and I immediately took that out. You can see I have 6 contracts left. I'm going to cancel my bid. So if I'm willing to pay up, if I'm willing to go to the offer, they'll fill me right away, okay? And I just want to cancel all my orders right now. I just want to clear the order book. We definitely got some selling starting to, what you see is all of the webs are starting to show the direction, which is starting to slide off the top. As long as we don't see any expansions, I got my 20 back on, and I'm just going to scalp 5 right here at 475. See if they'll fill them. I think they will. We only have a 80-25 contract, so we just over here. Let me get this off the screen or move it over. I guess over here. What you're going to see is that I've got stuff in the order book. I got 5 out there, right there. We're trading my 1 tick off on my price. I'm trying to get 0475. That's the bid now. So there we go. Come on. One more tick. They just need to print it one more time. There it goes. I didn't get any fills on that tick. See here, now they filled them. So I got those 5 out. Okay, I'm gonna layer. They're starting to accelerate this thing a little bit to the downside. This is what I was hoping for. So this is it. Let me go full screen so you guys can see this. So I've only got 1 left. I traded into that. I'm going to cancel my offer that I have laying out there. It's 5. It's gone. So we're doing pretty good here. And I think what we want to watch for, usually when you get this start to expand, these webs to expand here, I was hoping to get over the screen so I can show you a little bit. I guess we'll just hang out and chat, or I'll just trade a little bit. You guys can hang out and watch. But I still think that, look at that. See, we just got hit for like 100 handles. There's an air pocket there. I wanted to be a player in that, but I did okay. I'm all right with what it did. This is probably going to set up a little bounce pattern. We'll probably come back to that potentially to maybe 05 or so, unless they just keep selling them off, because we're now 28. We're about 2 handles off the high. I just put some out there, see if I can get filled. I got a couple filled. I don't like how I act in a typical scalper environment. This is not, when we don't have any liquidity. I'm going with the real bid is probably 2802.50 now. That's where the bid is. They just traded there. I had some. They took them back. They took them from me, which is good. I put another 5 right out at that 75 number, and we're seeing some acceleration. I'll hang out with a 5 lot for a minute, but I think we're gonna see further acceleration to the downside. And what's telling me that, I'm not being an analyst. I'm just following what the charts are telling me, and what they're telling me is all of the linear regressions are starting to flow down. And what I look for, and we're seeing a little bit, is this crossover here. As soon as I start to see any kind of crossovers, I'm looking for to take these trades back. Okay, and right there they just filled. I'm down to 10. I think there's some risk that this thing is going to bottom here, and I got some stuff out there. I actually ended up not getting one of the bids out of the way, but let me cancel my bids, and I'm going to scratch this trade. Hopefully, there we go. I'm flipping it. I'm getting back short again. Looks like we could get a further run, and I got not as many as I want, 10 contracts, but that's all right. Down to 5 contracts, and there they go. All gone. Cancel the offer. Done. All right, so we inched a few dollars up. But the point of all of this and being a scalper is playing in the order book. And that's something, I spent many years on trading floors and all that. And once you understand, you couldn't, to me, I have a lot of friends that had difficulty coming from the floor into the digital world. But I can still see the trading pit. I don't think it's out there anymore. There used to be, I'm trying to remember this guy's name. He sounded like an auctioneer, but I used to get his service because he had a live microphone on the trading floor. And then he also would call and tell you in the S&P physical pit, not what was going on, who was buying and selling. And probably if you go back to the flash crash, what was that, 2010, there was a great videotape. Ben Lichtenstein, I think is his name. Pretty close. But he is, look at this. They're starting to press this thing down a little bit here. This is what I was talking about. Right now we are 6 handles off the highs. And I'm going to scalp here. I don't have a lot of confidence getting short down in a hole here. But what would be on that broadcast was the background sound from a guy that spent years on the trading floor. I'm just trying to get covered up here. They're like I said, I kind of thought I'd get cute and scalp, and they're running away from me. I'm raising my bids, and they're running away. There we go. They got them out. I can get the bids out of there. All right. So what I'm trying to say is, had the sound, and he would say, Goldman's buying their, whatever price, and he would just call it off like an auctioneer, and it was really helpful. Plus, the main thing that I had was just the sound of the pit. And back in the old days, you could hear. I used to call it the animal would talk to you, and what would happen is you'd get the roar, and when the volume would start to increase, you could actually hear it. And when you could just feel the momentum, and you could hear it, and just all the ebbs and flows, and that was nice. But it's not necessary. It just kind of connected me to where I spent a lot of time. And so this thing is still under pressure. It could get really out of control on the downside here. Like I said, I would be surprised if I'm trying to find a place to get short. They're not really giving me a great location. I just put 5 out there. I got 10 out there now. And I don't have a lot of confidence, so I'm literally scalping out of this thing. I'll take $125. But the whole thing of trading and being involved in the order book is a huge understanding. And I ended up doing this trading. So one of the things I'm planning on doing, there's going to be a Wave Tech Scalper course, and this is what a live course will look like. But I'm going through and going to be putting quite a bit of stuff together on understanding order books, how the flows go, and how to get out of trouble when a bad trade happens. You folks that are looks like a couple folks is watching here. You can see exactly what's going on. I'm just trying to get out of this trade right now, and I've loaded this up. As soon as this thing gets filled, hopefully, um, I'm just going to kill the other bid. There we go. Let me just try to scratch out of that with no trade. They may or may not let me out. One of the patterns that I talk a lot about, I'm going to make this full screen for a second. One of the patterns I talk about is this, which I call a rope. When all of the linear regressions get really, really tight, I have a term: never buy a downsloping rope and never sell one that's going up. You always want to trade with it. So this is telling me the short side's still the right side. And once you get into the rope fairly deep, I've got 5 out there. You risk of catching a turn, and where I call it where the linear regressions are going to expand out. And yeah, they're really not playing fair right now. I'm going to cancel my bids and just going to scratch that trade out. That cost a few bucks, but it's not casual, but it has to be mechanical. And to be a real good scalper, normally I can only do this. I'm 66 years old, and even for the last 10 years, probably 2 hours of focus this is really serious focus. If I'm totally into this game and just really playing, you can't take, a lot of times I find, my face is right up on the screen. So that's kind of the intensity it takes, and there's only so much you can do that. Now this is, right here is where I'm talking about. I'll go full screen so you can see this, and I'll talk about this. But this is where you start to see the expansion, where we were in the rope, and this is what I was saying just in these last few trades that I did, that the rope is there, but it's at the bottom. You'll see this expansion. We're going to set up a pattern of some sort, and then we'll be able to read that, and whether there'll probably be a rally. We're at 12:06 Pacific time, so we're in a final hour, and we're gonna find out a lot about the characteristics of how this market's going to close today. And like I said, we're at back to 2,800. We got, I think, the 97 and change. I wasn't paying super close attention to the cash, but this is the kind of patterns that you want to pay attention to. And for me, because I've used these webs, like I said, I developed these back in 1992 when I was on a Pacific Options Exchange. You really have to, how's the best way? You get a feel for these things when they're going to happen, and extended. Also, I've got the PPM here, which is telling me that the internal moving averages are starting to move up, and everything's shifting. We have the volume rate of change has actually dried up. So this could be point. I'm actually going on the short side because I like this potential here at -4, 7, 15 contracts, scalping out of 5 right away. I got a bid in at 0.2 even, and they filled them. I'm going to do another one. Just taking what they're giving me, $62.50 minus commissions. That's what we're getting here. And I'm going to attempt to take this. I'm going to scratch this last trade right here, and as soon as that gets filled, I'm going to cancel my bid. We got partial. They didn't give them to me, so I'm just going to click here, and it's going to get rid of them. This far bar on TradeStation is a place where you can submit your entire position at once. That's really handy. So, been hanging out, doing trades, not making any money. What else here? Yeah, 0160. We're trying to move. Let's see where we are in the scale here. So we are 4 handles roughly off the highs. And you can see here they're moving this up. So it was a good idea to cover that trade. Whenever you start to see these things, this is typically what happens. Sometimes you'll get this, what I call a diamond top. And like I said, in the class I'm going to be putting together, it'll describe these. There's several formations. One's the rope that I talked about. Other one's diamond bottoms and tops. There's one called the whale belly. There's vomiting horse head. An associate of mine informed me that horses cannot vomit. But in this case, it looks like a horse head, and he vomits. So, and sometimes there's an upward spitting pattern. So, they're kind of names that were entertaining to me. But what we're seeing here right now is this thing is probably bottomed here at that. What was the low we got to? Looks like right around 8 even on the futures. There's about a 3 handle, 2.5 handle premium right now on the December contracts in the cash market. Cash is trading 28 even 54, and we're 28 2003. So it's about 250. So this pattern is setting up right now is interesting in that this will sound maybe silly, but this one goes either way. And what we need to do is let this minute go by, and depending if these webs inside of this pattern are upsloping, that tells you we're going to further recover in this market here. And it only takes 1 minute to get the bar update. And in fact, I tell a lot of people, if you're trying to figure out how to be a good technician, is get yourself on a 1 minute graph and spend as much time and focused in trading, making discretionary kind of decisions off your indicators or whatever you're doing. Because what happens is you get a new bar every minute. So every hour, it's like having 60 days of experience in 1 hour. You do 5 or 6 hours of this stuff, and I've been trading on 1 minute charts forever and ever. And so, literally, I wouldn't even want to know how many minutes and how many bars I've seen. And so, I'm actually watching this really close. We still have an upward slope. I am going to go ahead and put an offer out. I got 5. They filled the partial. They got it all. This may not work out, but I don't think it'll cost a lot to give it a shot here. So I've got 10 out there right now. And there we go. What I want to see is these, even though I got a 250 profit here, I want to see these things roll down, because I think if it rolls, then we're going to see more of the downside in the markets and more of this give back at the end of the day. At some stage, if you've been long and you're trading all day, you're looking for a point to cover up and take the money and go home with it. So this is not playing out. I'm actually trying to buy back, spend a little money. But they say you got to spend some to make some, and that's what this is all about. Yep, it's definitely trying to push up. Actually got a small position. I can click over here. I'm done. Got no. I do have some bids. I need to get rid of those. And by the way, I did have like a gaming mouse that you could program, and I had issues with it. I'm going to get a new one, so I'm doing this all manual. It's nice if you set it up. You can actually put macros. You can click one button, exit, cancel all orders. You can set up macros for every one of these. So I'm doing it manual right now. It's probably easier to watch and to learn. So I guess maybe whoever you guys are on or hanging out or just sitting there on your screen and maybe listen to me in the background. But we're, like I said, we are about 3.5 handles off the high of the day. Let me excuse me here. Like I said, going back to what we when I came on talking about is, days like this is, this is all, machine trading, Machines are seeing a break out of these patterns. They're just coming in. I probably could have played that. See this upward slope, what I'm talking about here? This is a nice upward slope. Now this is going to be an interesting point because I think on this spike, there's going to be, I'm actually putting some shorts out here on this thing. I got filled on it. I think that was kind of the hurrah. And I got a whole whopping 5 contracts canceling my offers, and I'm scalping out of that order, done. So, yeah, I just took a quick scalp, but I want to watch this because I'm still convinced. What time is it now? 12:15. That this thing is gonna roll over, and at least some profit taking into the close. If the bid stays there into the close, then the machines have gone crazy, and we'll see what happens here. I am looking at this pattern. I'm putting 5 out there. Got filled. I'm putting another 5. I don't think they're going to give them to me. Yep, they're not. I'm going to scalp out of that trade, take my $250 that they'll give it to me. They don't want to give it to me, but they'll give it to me right there. There you go. So I canceled my last offer out there. Now this is looking a little better. And in fact, I mentioned the horse head. This is kind of the horse head forming, and we'll see what kind of pattern. I'm convinced they're going to sell this thing in sometime in the next 15, 20 minutes. We're going to see a pretty good sell trade. All right. Trying to put 10 out there. They filled me. I put another 5. This is kind of a scary trade here, actually. You see this upward slope of these in here? I need to let this minute bar trade through. And if it finishes and these are upward sloping, then you got to flip the trade. And I will if that happens. So this is good. We need another tick or two. They're making me really nervous. Okay, you see the dots, the range. Let me go full screen. You can see that the thing, I'm putting out 5 more. I'm going to get to my core position, my 20. And there they go. They got them filled. And I'm going to scalp. I'm going into the order book here. And I'm putting my 20 contracts down in there. And I've layered them inside of the order book. And as those numbers are changing, people are coming and leaving the bids and the offers. So we'll see back. Interesting enough, my lowest bid is at 2805 again. So we did move back up there after going down to 2800. And I talked about that when we were down there. There we go. There's a shot here. This pattern is kind of forming. This is almost looks like a bird formation, but this thing should roll over. If it doesn't real quick, I have to flip this trade. I've got 5 left. I said all I've been doing for the last several trades is spending money. And I'm canceling all my bids. Those are gone. I got 1 left. So Spent about $1,500. That's why I look at it, you know, like I said earlier, comment was you got to spend something to make some. All right. They're luring me back in on the short side. There they go. Look at that. I didn't get any filled. I would have liked to have sold them up there. Only got 4. I've got 15 out there right now. There they go. They filled them. And, you know, this is potentially going to be a good trade, but it's hard to say. Here we go. I took out 5. I'm putting them back on. I'm offering at 06 even. They filled them. I put another 5 out there, 06 even. My favorite number, 550. I just put 10 to buy. Got into the order book. There we go. Thank you. And I'm keeping this core on. I'm trying to put some back on. I got 3. I got orders for a lot more. And I've seen this pattern before. We could reverse back into the range. I'm just trying to cover them here. And most of our money back that we spent earlier, actually on the long side now. Scalping out of that. Got 5 left, putting 5 out there. Got those done. And another 5. Another 5. Down to 10 long. All right, so did okay, made a couple $100. Trying to get short again. I really want to be short. Got way too big there. A little click of the mouse. I'm just trying to scratch out a bunch of these right now. I'm canceling my offers. I don't want them laying out there. Here we go. We got 20. I got back to my core. Just got a little too heavy there. Sometimes I get clicking and try to stay in a range. Here we go again. I've got 5 out there. Looks like they're going to fill them. They did. Down to 15 contracts. Still looking for them to pull this in. We're 2802.22 on the cash markets. Still think we could go out below 94. We got about 35 minutes to go. There's like 2 of you watching, so if you would, hey, let me know you found this interesting or something. Say boo, something. Be awesome. I'm taking out 5 at 0450. Attempting to anyway. There's 0450s. They filled them. Still minus 10. Still contracts short. They're trying to push this pattern. You can see now that the webs are starting to flow to the downside. You know, if you guys would chat, does this make sense of what we're talking about? You picking up, understanding anything that's going on? Let me know. The So we're starting to see some acceleration. Always, I always say when you're wrong, one's too many. When you're right, 100's not enough. So it's just the way it is. Right now, the trade kind of came into that range. Probably should have grabbed them when they were down there. And pulling out some, got 5 left. There they go. They're gone. Flat position. Actually made a new equity high. So that was a good sequence of events. So, I think this stuff is very powerful. Don't you guys think it, is that how you guys feel about it? Still no chats, but that's all right. Maybe you get the sound off. Where are we at? 2802.01 on cash. Just trying to figure out where this thing starts to sell off from. Sometimes the best trades are after the cash market closes, and you'll see some amazing movement. There's a number of things that happen as we come into the close. And probably the only guy I've ever respected over the years, for the most part, probably 80% of what comes out of his mouth is pretty good. Okay, they're trying to press this thing again. We're 0.3. I'm going to put a couple shorts, a little risky. You have 15. Let's see how this plays out. But as Art Cashin, he's always been a pretty solid player. And he used to come out, and I'm sure he still does. I haven't watched CNBC for years. But he'll come up what the imbalances are at the close. Somehow he gets his institutional desk and he sees what needs to be squared up and all that. So, this is probably the wrong place to try this trade. It's getting away. So if they're we're at 1226, market's at 2802. Actually ended up getting long just slightly there. And just kind of scalping out of this stuff. I'm going to cancel all my orders. I meant to anyway. Cancel orders. Anyway, I put my hello out there to you guys. I have one contract left. This is interesting. This pattern is setting up right here. This one will oftentimes completely roll over. So I've actually got one contract long. I'm putting sells out there, trying to get short. They let me get them in at -9 since I have one long. And I'm scalping out of, I've got a bid right now at 2804 even to buy 5. There they go. It just traded there. They filled them. There they go. They filled them. I'm going to cancel my offers. But this is the pattern I was talking about where you get this little, inside you get this little bump. All the main flow, the longer linear regressions, actually they're linear regressions from a length of 2 into 20. And so, but they just map out the pattern. So it makes it so, to me anyway, because I've been doing it for so many years, it just makes it so easy to see the patterns are unfolding and all that. We're 10 short, trying to get 20. Got 20. They filled them both there. I'm going literally to go down here, get an order book again, and as they go down, what I want to do is scale them in. So I'm selling, and then when they come down, I'm already in the order book. Here they're coming down toward I've got bids at 0350, 25, 3 even, and 275, it looks like. Yeah. So they're just trading 75. We need to go to 0350. And once that you start to get in that sequence, it'll print down, and that'll be a good trade. It looks like this is where they're gonna start. We'll probably go back under 2800. There we go. They did print. They took some of them out. There's still some dynamics going on with the linear regression line. So you can see where it's actually starting to turn up. So I'm scalping out of 10. I'm down to 5 contracts. I'm going to cancel my bids, and I'm reselling here. I'm offering at 25. This thing, like I said, I think we break below 2800 here. We're 2861, 50, 49. And I think I've got my 20 on. I'm going to cancel these offers. I don't want more. And I'm put a bid in, trying to buy some of these back because they're going to bounce around here. But we should see one more shot at that low of the sequence here, which was all the way down. Take a look at that. Low was 0250. So, they bounced them here. That's frustrating. And one of the things you'll see when you do this stuff a lot, right, is you'll see your equity bounce around. So been stuck between 17,500 and 19,500 roughly, in rough numbers. And I don't like the fact that we're crossing the linears with the shorts here, and they're going to be spending some of that money going back to that range there. And we'll see where we get. Still have 17 short. Just trying to get filled right now. There, they filled most of them. Got one left, all done. Cancel orders, yes. And so, we saw this little cross pattern where it back to 2802. So it's like market's hanging on to 2802. And the talk on the news lines and stuff today will be, market rebounds back above 200-day moving average. Okay, so if you don't even have to look at CNBC or Market Watch or any of those things. There's your headline. Still don't like this thing though. I am putting some out there, trying to get filled. They filled a little bit, and because I think it goes through 2800, it's going to go all the way down to around 96, 95. Here we go. We're starting to see some. I did manage to get my 20 on, and my offer. Oh, look at this. We've fallen into a rope, and what I tell you a little bit ago is never buy a rope, a downsloping rope, or sell one. So if it can stay in this tight rope, it's not. It's trying to bounce out of here. I put 10 to buy at 2803 even. There's not a lot out there right now. 146 contracts there we go. So it looks like I'll probably get filled in this next trade. We'll see. They're trading. I got 2. See if they'll give me any more. 2 is all I got on that. When the pools are bigger, you're going to get you'll get filled better. See, they're just bouncing. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, they definitely spending some money here. They want to hold this thing over 2800. It's looking pretty obvious. I am going to be a little aggressive here and put on some shorts up here and totally looking to buy them all back and scratch them here. I'll give them a few seconds. And this is an advanced strategy. And a lot of time you'll see these bars, they'll spike out of these patterns and go from there. You can also get in trouble doing this pretty quick because this, I'm spending 20, almost $3,000. I am spending 3,500 now. And this thing is up at the upper end of this range here. So yeah, this got to be a really expensive trade. Yep, these happen. There's nothing you can do about it, especially when the liquidity is like this. And yeah, we're pushing. All of a sudden, we're on the cash, we're starting to get up to the high of the day. So that was really expensive there, to say the least. I'm going to cancel all these bids that ended up layered in there. And you can see all of the linear regressions moved up there. So that was, I guess I didn't learn my lesson. I'm coming back in on them. Where are we at to the highs? See, all of a sudden they pumped them right up to the highs. So we tested 2,800 twice, and then they bounced them through here. Okay, so they're going to give me a couple bucks back there, not a lot. So the question is, do we think they can make new highs on as we come into the last few minutes? And I'm not sure they can. I'm short 3. I don't know if I can get this money back or not. We'll see what we can do. Been on this thing for a long time. There we go. Trying to get a little bit more back. Just inch it back. Yeah, just trying to get 18 short here, just trying to scratch out. Got about $1,200 back, a little bit more back there. This is one of these patterns where it looks like they're going to challenge the highs of the day. If this upsloping, notice all of the linear regressions underneath. I'm hoping that you guys can see that on scale, but let's go full screen. All these linear regressions are all sloping up, and I've been trying to buy them, and they didn't fill them. You can see all the bids in there. So we are 2 ticks off the highs here, and this is also a good place to spend some more money. Let me get these bids out of here. So maybe they work both ends of the ranges, right? We went down to 2,800. Now we traded all the way up to 08. I mean, it's crazy. Composite up 204. That's just a crazy number. So I'm going to play their game. I'm trying to get long before they make the new high. I'm bidding. I'm not getting filled. I cleared. Um, there it goes, new highs, and I'm layering orders up here just so I can get filled and get out of this thing. I'm going to cancel all the orders. Got one left, gone. Oh boy. This thing's just blowing up. Massive short covering here. I wasn't the only one doing that. I just spent a whole ton of money. They got us all caught in that thing, guys. Yeah. Way to spend a bunch of money at the end of the day. Yeah, this thing just running away. Gave away half of my day there. You got to see it real time. Yeah, you're seeing a huge trade take on here. Just trying to cover out of this thing. This is pretty amazing, folks, seeing this thing trade up all the way to 2809. And there's still lots of buyers. Looks like a lot of short covering coming in here. I'd be one of them. As I said, I gave half of my really good day away. It's all right. Still an okay day. Yeah, sorry for quiet. Got to focus here. Lots of money flowing around. New highs again. Amazing. Look at this thing. This is serious short covering. At least they gave me back. At least I was able to get some of that. Yeah, we're 28.10.80. Pretty phenomenal move. Look at that. I got see if they get a little bit of a sell-off here. What we got? 15 minutes to go. Here we go. This is like a 12-round boxing match. Still got an upward slope rope. Still some danger. I'm a little short here. Got it back about 3,000. Canceling all those bids in the book, getting them out of there. Still got a rope. Looks like they want to press the highs again. Okay, there's your expansion. That was it. They're not filling me. This is really rough. Look at the liquidity meter on the far right. They're just gone. Wow. They just won't, they won't fill anything. It's crazy. A lot of this damage that happened in this last sequence was just not being able to get filled. It was just a giant air pocket. See, like just right there. I managed to get a little long here. I'm not sure why, but there we go. Just kind of selling into this thing, trying to get in the order book, but little there is there. Back to -8. 12 minutes to go in a regular session. We're right at the highs again. And I'm going to layer into this order book up here. I mean, this is 28.12 now, up 61 handles on the S&P. I'm canceling all orders. So I thought I did. Cancel orders. Yeah, they're gonna print more highs here. You'll see me layering orders, maybe not. All I can tell you, folks, is all I can tell you is there's no way you could even trade like this on the floor. Here we go again. They're about to make new highs. We're at 1251. There it goes, new highs. Ran my orders, gave me a little bit of money there. Now I'm grabbing some back here. So I had those orders layered in. I didn't have as many longs as I did sell orders out there, so I ended up flipping the trade and getting short, which worked out really well. And packed in about $1,000 on that trade. And so now they want to sell them here, right? And I got 20 on. See if I can get out of here without getting whipped again. There we go. There we go. Got them all out, and now they're selling like crazy. Got me back to almost 14,000, so that's good. And let's just see here. Almost back to 15, so they aggression. You got to be aggressive. I can't even tell you what I'm doing right now. This is pretty intense. So so we're 10, 28, 10, 40. I'm going to put a couple shorts out here. This looks kind of scary. We'll see what they want to do. Yeah, that was me and everyone else just caught short and just trying to cover up. So that's what a short covering rally looks like. And like I said, it was I had to just really focus on what was going on. Back to 15.4 though, not too shabby. From 9,200 low on that run. I still think there's some opportunities here. They're still selling this thing a bit. Now, if I get back over, make a new equity high, oh boy. I really think that this thing is going to rally back. I did manage to get some on and layered again into the book. Just trying to tell you I'm focused in on this stuff. It's pretty intense. And we're looking at, there we go, boom. Do 7 contracts, yes. Cancel all orders. Cancel, 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 cancel. All right. Look at that, 16,262. That was, whew, some pretty impressive recovery work. I think they're going to give me another shot here to get short. And I've been trading pretty large, so. Cancel the offers. Don't want them in there. I'm buying back these, taking some small profits here. Getting partial fills, no liquidity. Had some bids laying out there. I just decided to leave them there. We'll see if we can get any money out of that. There you go. This should flip me back short when these all fills come in by 32. I had a lot of stuff laying out there. Sometimes I trade against my own order flow. There we go. They're going to take some back here. Put a couple more on. put on some big bids down here. Yeah, we're going to get in trouble here real quick. Flatten that trade out, cost some money. Yeah, this is pretty wild. I kind of got myself in a pickle here. Canceling all my orders. Got one contract in there right now, two contracts gone. All right, where are we at? 14. So that was an interesting sequence. So 1205, 2812 is where the S&P is. The trade is probably going to be in 5 minutes. So I didn't think I'd be on here for an hour and a half, but since a couple of you are even just have it on your screen watching or whatever, I went ahead. I would have been doing this anyway right now. All right, we're going to give it a shot. One more little short trade, see if they want to sell them. We got 4 minutes to go to the cash close. They're giving it back. They're giving me some money. Wow, 17.2. I like it. I flipped that trade real quick there. I was on the offer buying, and I'm 5 long now. I didn't want to let it go. Like I said, I think the big trade is in 3 minutes. So if you guys are going to hang out, I guess I'm going to trade, see what us futures only traders will do. Yeah, here's some of the selling I was thinking was going to come in. See, I think everybody's been long all day, and these all goes, and everybody's going to unwind this trade is what I'm thinking here. We have a minute and a half to go. I'm going to flatten out as we come into this thing. Look at that, 18,762. I like it. I like it. I'm going to cancel the orders that I have laying out there, and I'm just going to do my best to get out of this puppy. There we go. So I could quit right here, right? I made it come back. That was crazy. That takes a lot of years and a little bit of, you know what, to pull that off. That was pretty intense. So anyways, good hanging out with you guys. I wish that yeah, look at this thing rally back. So we're all the way at, looks like we're going to finish way above 2,800 over, this thing's rallying right back. Now this is going to be the trick. Now this is all the squaring up of orders you're seeing. Final minute, So pretty amazing. Let me go full screen so you guys can see this easy. And this is just all the liquidity. Everybody's squaring orders. You got about 20 seconds to go. There it goes, done. I'm attempting to get short. There's a This is what I was going to talk about. Typical after a big up or down day, you get a lot of short covering, and they're just not going to let you in here. There we go. I got some in there. They just weren't. It was so fast it wasn't even getting on the screen, folks. I just look at this. This is crazy. They filled me on a bunch of that stuff, like big time. Ah, this is wild. They made $10,000. All right, I'm going to call that lucky. I was clicking thinking I wasn't getting those fills, weren't hitting the screen. They hit it, and wow. Wow. That's all I can say. That was unexpected going back 20 minutes ago to finish here. This is pretty exciting. Anyway, it says there's two people on here. If nothing else, I recorded a pretty intense trading session, to say the least. And yeah, so we finished 2810.02 on the S&P. That's a wow. Up 214 on the composite, and the industrial's up 547. All because of a couple of earnings reports. I'm telling you, this is some crazy stuff, and they're running this thing back up. I'm glad I'm out. I couldn't handle it anymore. And that last trade was just insanity. I was clicking going, shit, is this thing not going in? All of a sudden, all those trades showed up, and it was like a lag. I'm sure that the volume is intense on all these platforms. But all I can say was that was fun. I'm glad you guys hung out. I'm glad I recorded that session, and there was a lot of good conversation about scalping and patterns and things of that sort, and looking at and trading off 1 minute graphs. But that was absolutely insanity. That really was. That's about as far as this old guy can actually go right now. But that was pretty impressive, especially with the ebbs and flows. And it's sort of, if you think about it, it's like, the game is being able to come back. It's a 2 minute drive in football, the bottom of the ninth in baseball. You need to make a comeback, and that last trade was just kind of part of a lag in the system, not showing me the trades were getting filled, and dumb luck, because I kept clicking thinking they weren't going in. And boy, were they. I'm lucky the markets didn't go the other way, because that, like I said, I'm going to chalk that one up to a lucky trade. Anyway, folks, thanks for, I guess, watching. The two of you, I wish you to just acknowledge yourself, but that's cool. Anyway, have a great day. Be around tomorrow. See ya.